Hola, buenos dias. Today we're going to talk about the word estar, and this concept might drive you crazy because I remember when I learned it way back, it drove me a little bit crazy. So in Spanish, you know that we have multiple ways to say certain things, like the word you have 4 ways to say it, or the word the, you have 4 ways to say it. Well, this is another one of those concepts that has multiple ways to say it in Spanish. So in English, you only have one way to say I am, you are, he is. And we go with that, and we don't differentiate between things that are temporary and things that are permanent. But in Spanish, they have an entirely different verb from things that are temporary versus things that are permanent. What I mean by that is, well, we've already talked about using the verb ser to say I am, you are, he is, etc. Am, is, and are. Well, the second way to say that deals with the verb estar. So you've got the present tense, deals with the 6 categories of pronouns that we've already mentioned, we've already reviewed. And I want to show you what the verb estar looks like when you pull it apart with those different subject pronouns. Ser is the verb that you use when you say I am, you are, he is, when you're talking about more permanent things. Estar is used when you're talking about temporary things. So for example, if I'm feeling hot today or I am happy right now, you're going to use forms of estar instead of ser. So let's first look at how you change the word estar to make it into I am, he is, you are. So the first one, yo, remember I always say that you keep yo in the upper left-hand corner of these boxes. You're organizing your thoughts here. So all the singular people stay on the left, all the plural people go on the right. So if I want to say I am, I'll remove the AR. All of these you're removing the AR, and I'll add an OY. So this estar is kind of like a regular verb, except for in this yo form. So if I say I'm happy, I would say yo estoy feliz. If I want to say you're happy, I'm going to change the end of my verb estar into an AS. And look what you got on top of the A here. A little accent mark. I have a note at the bottom of the page. Notice that all forms of estar have an accented A except the yo and nosotros forms. So that top line, those are the only ones that don't have accents on them. So if I want to say to my friend, oh, you're cold, aren't you? I might say, tú estás. Or instead of cold, I might say, oh, you're sad. Estás triste. The he form, the she form, and the you formal form have just the A on the end, but you put a little accent on the end. So it's got está. So she's happy. Ella está feliz. He's happy. Él está feliz. And this is different than other parts of speech. Some people ask me, do you change the ending based on whether it's masculine or feminine? The answer is no. Verbs are not a part of speech in Spanish that get an ending change based on who's doing the action. Parts of speech that do get changes, we already know that you can change your pronouns, you can change your nouns, you can the people nouns, you can change your articles, and you can also change adjectives, but verbs are not one of those parts of speech that get the change. If we look on the right-hand side over here, we've got all the plural people. If I want to say we're happy, I'd say estamos. I want to say you guys, like depending on what part of the country you're from, y'all, you guys, yins, if you're from Pittsburgh, you'd say estáis. And then if I want to say they're happy, or all of you guys, like formally are happy, I'd say están with an accent, an. So that's how you change the verb estar to match the person. Here are some of the very specific uses for estar. I said things that are more temporary, but there are also other uses for estar. First one I have here is location. If I want to tell you where I'm currently sitting, estoy en casa, I'm at home. To tell how you're feeling, it says Julia está enferma. Julia is sick. It's like she's not going to be sick forever. If you were to use the word ser, Julia es enferma, that would mean that she is a sick person. So depending which one you choose, it can actually change the meaning of the sentence. emotional states, ¿cómo estás? How you doing? And that's where you tell me, oh, I'm feeling good or I'm doing bad. And then there's also other uses, present progressive. It's a tense that we're going to get to later on in the course, but for now, these three are the ones we're going to be using the most often. So here's a little bit of practice. If I say, el profesor está ocupado, busy. If he is busy, which one of these three uses are we talking about? Is it emotional? Well, busy's not really emotional. Is it health? Busy's not really a state of health. Okay, location. It's not really where he's located, but it's describing the way that he is right now. So even though we've passed by emotional state, we're still talking about a current state of being. So you can think about it in those terms too. If I say Juan Carlos es de Argentina, okay, this is a use of ser because we're talking about where he's permanently from. You can't change where you're from. So this is actually going to be your origin, be. The next one says Mama está en la cocina. Mama's in the kitchen. This is C, location. It's where she's actually standing right now. The next one is to fill in the blank with the correct form. Alejandra blank cansada. If Alejandra is a she, you have to go down and look. Bottom left-hand corner, you've got the ella form. So you would say está cansada. That would be B. The next one says yo blank en clase de español. I am in Spanish class. So, of course, we have to go with the yo form, upper left-hand corner. Estoy. Next one says mis hermanos blank enfermos. My brothers and sisters are sick. So if it's like saying they're sick, you think, ellos, that's the word for they. And the form that goes with ellos, bottom right-hand corner, is están. So that would be D. So I hope this helps you out a little bit with Ser and Estar. I have lots of resources posted for you, and I hope that you check them out. We're going to be doing a lot of work with Ser and Estar because, like I said, it can drive you nuts. It's a big concept, and both verbs have lots of different uses.